During COVID lockdowns, my goal was to try to entertain and comfort the readers I have the best way I know how, through art, stories, streams, Discord, and releases. So there was a huge and quick rise in my internet relationships, which I thought the world of after having 9 years prior with little to no communication about my work. That spike in social engagements, alongside real-life challenges like losing a pet of 8 years, a best friend of 10, and my father, caused a lot of things to go wrong and just weird. So the following might sound disjointed and all over the place. It's because it's pieces I've written and drafted throughout the time from February 2020 to 3 nights ago. It could be true that 100% of all my relationships outside of my siblings come through my art, starting from elementary school all the way to university. I'm not good with socials, and I never approached anyone. I give off the vibe of not wanting anyone to come near, they say, so I'm not approached either. But art was always the bridge. I'd be sitting and drawing alone, and that's always a good conversation starter for any passerby. Or some student hears about this artist in class such and such, and they come and talk to me. And now, as a creator with no one behind her doing the promotion or running things, I have to be close to the audience and engage. I have to interact with artists, proofreaders, moderators, or programmers, and so on. And I care. I care quickly and deeply because I always have this sense of responsibility towards others. So ever since I become of age, people always knew I'm an artist before anything else about me. I like that because it's all there is to me, really. It's my one real interest, and there's little to learn outside of it, to be honest. But this causes issues to arise. One of the biggest reasons relationships is hard for me, online and offline, is because people come with a set of expectations for who I am based on what I create. It makes these people see me through one lens, which I either bend to till I break because I fear rejecting anyone, or they tirelessly try to enter into my life for a friendship they pictured with me, or for a goal they want artistically, to eventually lose interest in me and in my art when I don't play out the role they envisioned for me. I don't know. Do people expect a romantic, ethereal experience when they befriend an artist they like? I see "don't meet your heroes" often used in a way to paint a creator as the bad guy, but sometimes fans also have an over-exaggerated image of a hero, and it does both sides no good. People go from starstruck and "I want to be in" to "oh no, this is not what I expected," and eventually walk out the same way they walked in, because who knew an artist is a human and usually is different from what you draw them out to be in your head? Who knew? Not to mention the sense of, I don't know what to call it, it's not entitlement, but overconfidence maybe, too comfortable. It's when these people, out of care and love, go overboard with whatever little info they were able to decipher from what I share online, personally, not artistically, and try to do something about it, for help or gain. I mean, someone who takes my work seriously and invests their time and thinking into checking everything and comment and support brings me joy. I post a drawing and they relate it to a trivia I shared months ago, and it's the best feeling. But someone who watches my every move online with those I interact with and my family wishes to be close circle and want to befriend and interact so hard to the point that the lines are blurred and they think they have the right to overstep anything is simply wrong. I disappear or share no posts for a while, and some people start messaging my family about it, or I share event art about a pain I have and they guess the reason behind the pain and try to meddle, help, or advise. It's just wrong, man. It's one thing to send a "hey, how are you? I hope you're doing better. Here's a photo, meme, whatever, that made me think of you or I think you might like." It's a whole different level of intrusiveness when you share your advice and opinions unsolicited, or reach out to people in my life to fix, or threaten, or investigate. There's a kind of charm to an artist you like from afar, an admiration that breeds a wish to want to be close. But the more you get to know them, be mindful that underneath it all, there's a human being with wants, backstories, and full personalities, and it's important to remember to be realistic and be respectful. There's also the case where a person uses my art bridge, We click and start forming a friendship. They have this idea of me and about my life from everything I share, but they're basically strangers to me, so they're like kilometers ahead of me, and I have to catch up, but normally always fall short. So then they're the ones that feel bad about my lack of investment in a friendship that is moving at two drastically different paces. Moreover, the slight divide between who I am as an artist and who I am as a human person, non-art communicator, is something that should be natural, but it seems like it's not for most people. I have this piece I wrote and illustrated 2 years ago under the title I Address Elephants but Don't Have Spoons for Storytelling, because I started noticing this problem with people I talk to. See, I tell stories in a metaphorical manner with subtle messages, red herrings, and foreshadowing hints, which for many people conflicts with how I communicate as a person with direct and often blunt speech, and they always end up trying to infer meaning from whatever direct thing I'm bluntly saying, and you can imagine how problematic that can be. Eventually, they move on, not before tangling my feelings with their existence in my life as a good friend. In a way, it's hard for me to untangle as fast as it took for the knot to form. Also, every time a rift is created between me and a friend, or a grudge is built up between us, I don't only lose a friend, but who once was a very passionate supporter to my work, which is one of the rewards that indie artists online appreciate and is what probably made the friendship work to begin with. It's just like when you bond with someone over a fandom and you become friends. I'm very comfortable spending time with myself, no matter how lonely it feels at times, but when such people barge into my life, it's easy to lower my walls and to want them in.
こうしていつもの席から離れてみると、あの席はまるでなかったような、最初からなかったような、まるで夢だったみたいに遠く感じる。はじめ。本当は迷惑をかけるんじゃなく、みんなの役に立ちたかった。だから最初に戻ったと思ってみんなから離れよう。きっとそれが一番いいはず。私いつもすごく嬉しかった。ずっと求めていたの。ずっと憧れてた。ずっと私。もうどうやって一人でいられたかわからない。私知っちゃって、優しくされる気持ちも優しくしたい気持ちも、どうやって元に戻ればいいのかわからない。どうして一人でいられたのか、どうして平気でいられたのか、みんな全部忘れちゃった。全部。
We all want and look for good friends after all, don't we? Some of the kindest and most passionate people were the ones that drove me to write a lot of this, so it's not like there's good and evil here. Things aren't black and white. However, what they did to me hurt me beyond repair, to the point that my whole life's work was hanging by a thread at some point. Your usual anon rando hater and other business demands take a toll on this universe I'm writing and punches it continuously, but it stands stronger when there are people who are lovingly there for it, and it shifts access when they're the ones that caused its pain. As a person who shares their unheard feelings through art, I can't help but notice how some people get into my life as avid fans for my personal, quote-unquote, relatable voice, to then become friends to me through these types of art, only to hate it when they become a subject in such pieces, after our friendship falls apart or has a falling out. The pain caused by other friends, not them, was a raw voice they admired and wanted to be close to. Then after their admiration went out, and with time they too left my words unheard, I vent it out through pen and ink, so to them I become the bad guy. It goes from, wow, your honesty, to, frankly, how rude of you, quite dramatically. I would never have a conflict with a friend, fester unresolved issues or unspoken words within me, then go to illustrate these issues out for the world to see. That, in my estimation, is a cowardly way of handling a problem. Rather, when an issue goes on day in and day out, with me talking about it in all manners of speech, from the softest, most understanding ways to the most aggressive forms of speech, to a friend that simply chooses intentionally or unintentionally to ignore it, to ghost me, to play it off for laughs, to leave me unread, or are merely unable to deal with it because they're dealing with something more important. When months and years pass while our friendship is put on the back burner, I eventually put pen to paper for a release. Is it fair? Well, some people talk to their therapists, others to their parents or friends, some write about it or sleep it out. I draw. I make fake personal art out of it when all else failed. To heal. A big part of me says that this video is a bad idea because most people won't get it or misinterpret it. A lot of people will get conscious about how they talk to me. Friends will think I'm being rude and unfair again. However, I need to say this for myself, for one or two artists who would relate, for one or two followers who would look differently at an artist they like. Last night I was part of a big argument, and as usual, I'm the most criticized for speaking out. It seems that my tone and the words I use, or maybe my face, make it so that whatever I say sounds to others like I'm on a high horse and think I'm right while everyone else is wrong. So as I reread what I wrote above, I have a feeling that's how it will sound to a lot of people. So I must say that in all this, I do feel like I'm wholly at wrong in all my relationships. With every new friendship, I try to do better and I blame myself, not the other party, because I'm the one lacking in the social department. And I've been told I'm a difficult person in general, so try to take it as a diary page from a person who is trying to understand human behavior and how to navigate relationships better. I simultaneously feel the words I'm writing while analyzing the situation and what leads each person to act a certain way. I simultaneously want to vent, but also try to generalize in an attempt to help those who have similar feelings. And I guess the rational and analytical side of the speech makes me sound dry and cold, which is probably what paints me as the pretentious person some people think I am. Excuse me for any negative feelings you get from this, and thank you for listening to this point. Have a good day.